It's finally here. Season 4 of the Pokemon Battle Hub Draft League is upon us and we have returned to go for another championship. What's going on everyone, my name is Scorpion and welcome to my season overview and draft analysis for BHDL Season 4. Our 4th season of BHDL gives 115 points to all coaches to draft a team of 10 Pokemon exactly, and so the power level is at an all-time high. Terra Captains are proper low tier this time, with 16 points to choose 2 to 3 Terra users that have a point value of 9 and below. They will also carry 3 set Terra types this time around, as opposed to the 3 Terra that we're used to. Playoffs is also seeded differently this time, as higher seeds get to choose their opponents from the lower seeds in quarterfinals, so we got something to fight for this season. My spot in the draft was 5th overall, very close to my spot in 4th from last season. I was very happy with this placement and was able to pick up something strong early. The Pokemon you see on screen right now were already chosen by the time it was my turn, but there were still plenty of options left. For round 1, breaking 2 traditions at once by not drafting a fighting type, as well as drafting a Pokemon in the Ubers tier for once, the L.E.A.F agents selected the hero of the 7 Z's itself, Palafin. Palafin is incredibly strong with its base 160 attack stat, pure water typing that nets at only 2 weaknesses, and solid well-rounded stats across the board. Obviously, one of its biggest selling points is its signature Jet Punch, which provides my team with incredible priority, but it's also a solid wall breaker with moves like Wave Crash and Close Combat. Palafin is also an incredible pivot thanks to Flip Turn, and with a very usable base 106 special attack stat, as well as access to good special moves like Grass Knot and Aura Sphere, it can attack from both sides of the spectrum, making it very unpredictable. Of course, Palafin's biggest downside is its Zero to Hero ability, which requires you to switch it in and out of battle to unlock its full potential. I wanted my next Pokemon to be a solid pivot that can threaten the grass and bulky water types that may threaten Palafin, so my next pick was Zapdos. Zapdos is an incredibly solid typing both offensively and defensively that allow it to play a variety of roles. It can easily go on the defensive with Roost while spreading paralysis with Thunder Wave or its ability Static, or go on the offense with high base power moves like Thunderbolt or Hurricane. Base 125 special attack stat, alongside good coverage options like Heat Wave and Weather Ball, make this Pokemon very hard to take advantage of, and it easily gets Palafin in and out of battle, not just with Volt Switch, but also the weaker yet unblockable U-turn. Of course, with these 2 picks, we still need an answer to powerful electric types, and we could also use some entry hazards to get opposing Pokemon in range of Palafin's Jet Punch. So next I chose one of the most reliable walls in the format, Ting-Lu. Ting-Lu is practically immortal with its ludicrous base 155 HP and solid defenses on both sides, further assisted by its incredible ability, Vessel of Ruin. Thanks to its titanic bulk, as well as very usable attack, Ting-Lu can reliably force progress by hitting things hard, sponging opposing hits, and stacking entry hazards. Ting-Lu also has the ability to phase out other sweepers with Whirlwind, and can force progress reliably even if its other tricks are dealt with thanks to its signature move, Ruination. Having such an incredible defensive backbone for Palafin is great, but while setting up our own hazards, we also need to have a way to get rid of our opponents. Because the Rapid Spin users were flying off the board at this point, I reached out to an old friend of ours, Cyclizar. Cyclizar was a big part why Season 3 was so incredible for us. Its incredible speed tier provides a consistent revenge killer and makes it very good at removing entry hazard with Rapid Spin. It also has a bunch of other utility options like Knockoff and U-turn, can be a potent offensive threat with high base power moves like Draco Meteor and Double Edge, and has a whole list of coverage options too, like Overheat and Power Whip. To finally add some more offensive power to the team, I decided to get my grass type for the season, and I found a great option in my 5th pick, Ogerpon Cornerstone. Ogerpon Cornerstone is an incredibly fast and hard hitter that's difficult to switch into thanks to the potency of its accurate rock type Ivy Cudgel, a very rare commodity for an offensive Pokemon. Its complementary grass types also hit incredibly hard, with moves like Wood Hammer to wall break, Horn Leech for longevity, or Trailblaze to outspeed faster threats. While this form of Ogerpon may not be able to hold an item, the Cornerstone mask still gives all of its moves a 20% power boost, making it even harder to counter, and it also has a very useful ability that always lets it survive one hit while on full health, with Sturdy. Add this onto the fact we can pivot around with U-turn, knock off items, or lay down some spikes, and we have ourselves an incredibly versatile Pokemon. Now that we have our water and grass types, it was time to round off our type core by grabbing a fire type. My team also lacks special firepower at this point, and it was also time to secure a Terra Captain. So I turned to what I thought was one of the absolute best Terra Captains available on our board, my favorite fire starter in the game, Delphox. Delphox has an incredible stat with solid special attack, speed, and even solid special bulk, alongside a rather complementary type combination in Fire and Psychic. It can be a very solid wall breaker with powerful stab moves like Fire Blast, Overheat and Psychic, which is backed by a list of useful coverage options like Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Dazzling Gleam and Scorching Sands. However, as I mentioned, Delphox is also a Terra Captain, and mine can terastallize into a Fire, Grass or Fairy type. Fire lets us eliminate our Psychic related weaknesses while hitting extremely hard with our Fire Stab. Grass lets us flip the script on Water, Ground and Rock types that normally threaten Fire. And Fairy lets us flip the script on Dark types while hitting them and Dragon types hard with Dazzling Gleam. Next, I wanted to secure some more priority for our team and a spin blocker to assist Ting-Lu with hazard stacking. So I grabbed a Pokemon which is, in my opinion, very underrated. Mimikyu. While Mimikyu might appear quite weak on the surface with only 90 base attack and middling coverage options, this can be very deceiving as Mimikyu has a bunch of other excellent traits enabled by its incredible ability, Disguise. With access to moves like Curse, Trick, Will-O-Wisp and Destiny Bond, it can be a seriously strong support option. And while its base attack set is nothing to write home about, Disguise can let it get a free Swords Dance boost for almost every time. Combined with its nearly unresisted stab combination of Ghost and Fairy, it makes Mimikyu surprisingly potent offensively too, overall leaving us with a very versatile Pokemon that complements our team beautifully. I was desperately in need of a Steel type at this point however, and was quickly running out of options. All of Iron Treads, Golden Go, Metagross and Jirachi were consecutively sniped off of me by different coaches, but luckily there was still one more solid Steel type remaining at 10 points, Revavroom. Revavroom offers some great roll compression for my team, as it also gives me a grounded Poison type and can play both offensive and supporting roles. Its go-to sweeping set is very difficult to stop, as it uses one of the best move boosting moves in the game in Shift Gear to quickly outspeed and KO opponents. Strong stab options in Gunk Shot, Spin Out and Iron Head, as well as useful coverage options like High Horsepower and Zen Headbutt, make it a very threatening sweeper. That's not all though, as Revavroom also has some good defenses to go along with its typing and an incredible support move pool, packing options like Toxic and Toxic Spikes, Haze to stop opposing setup sweepers, and Parting Shot for momentum. My team was looking very solid at this point, but I still had quite a few points remaining. To fill some of these gaps, I decided to get Primeape next. Primeape is a solid secondary Terra Captain that also gives me a Fighting type and second Stealth Rock user. Thanks to its access to a Violite, it has surprisingly solid defenses, and its base 105 attack set is backed up by strong stab in close combat, as well as its ability Defiant, welcoming any Pokemon that may try to intimidate it. This also doubles well as a way of heavily punishing any attempts at defogging away our entry hazards. Like I said, because Primeape is my other Terra Captain, I decided to let mine terastallize into a Steel, Ghost or Fairy type. Steel turns all my weaknesses related to fighting into a resistance, letting me set up in front of a variety of threats. Terra Ghost lets me block Rapid Spin while also powering up my best coverage option in Rage Fist, and Fairy is another overall solid defensive typing, though I may switch this one out at one point later in the season. After adding Primeape to my team, I was very happy with my squad overall, but I really wanted to get something out of the 10th round, seeing as I still had a whopping 10 points remaining. To end off my draft with some solid utility and defensive backbone, I grabbed Klefki in the final round. Klefki is an incredible support Pokemon with its Steel Fairy typing and Prankster ability, letting it spread paralysis, set up spikes and even dual screens for my team, which my setup sweepers greatly appreciate. It's not too passive either, as it can greatly punish physical attackers trying to take advantage of it with foul play, and dish out some serious damage while potentially sacrificing itself for momentum with Steel Beam. While I don't expect Klefki to come to many games, it reliably forces a lot of prep on opponents and can even threaten an unexpected sweep itself, with moves like Iron Defense, Calm Mind and Stored Power. So that's my team for the 4th season of the Pokemon Battle Hub Draft League. Overall, while I'm very much not used to this type of team, I welcome the opportunity to see how I can pilot it, and I think it has some great potential. If you want to see what the other teams look like, make sure to check out the official Battle Hub Draft League YouTube channel. There's a power rankings video there that goes over every single team and compares their potential side by side. Also make sure you leave a like and are subscribed to my channel, as I'll be uploading these Draft League battles every week for the coming 9 weeks, and potentially more if we make it to the playoffs. For now, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my Week 1 battle. Peace.